after thinking about the position Rolo is in this episode, after Lelouch talks about it, I then realize how fucked up Rolo's position is in this series. He has literally taken Lelouch's sister's place, and at the exact same time, it goes further than that. He has also taken her birthday. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that's some fucked up shit. Stealing her birthday. And the way he actually was killing people in this episode, like, he slit that dude's throat. Like, the dude walks in, a regular soldier, he uses his Geass, and then that poor dude hits the floor and he's dead. I'm like, that's some fucked up shit. So, Rolo, he gets the job done, he's very serious, and his personality, he is definitely going to be a danger to Lelouch. He definitely is. He's probably one of the most dangerous characters I have seen in this series. Because the end of this episode is quite the cliffhanger. And I'm not a big fan of that. So I'm probably going to go watch the episode as soon as I finish this review. So, this episode, episode 3 of Code Geass Season 2. That ending, or that Geass power that Rolo has is O-fucking-P. Like, wow. That is overpowered. We fought mind reading, even though it's kind of tragic, mind reading was overpowered, or Lelouch's power to technically control people for, whatever order he gives them, or the Britannian Emperor's, mind erase Geass. We fought, those were overpowered. No! Rolo's power is unbelievable. Like, it is so fucking OP. From what I understand, okay, I want to go into his ability. His ability is Stop Time. The question I have right now is, we do know if Geass users overuse their abilities, eventually the Geass grows stronger. And we've already seen this, showcased with Lelouch. After he used his ability so much, eventually he couldn't turn off his Geass. And that was the same thing with Mao. He pretty much couldn't control his Geass, and, he always hurt people's thoughts. Well, I'm really wondering right now, will Rolo lose control of his Geass? Because what would happen if he did? Like, if he was to lose control of his Geass, would time always stay stopped? Like, I want to take a guess and say he doesn't necessarily stop time. I think it has more along the lines to do with, paralyzing someone's nervous system. All the Geasses we have seen thus far through this series, as I even mentioned in my last review, always focuses with the brain, the human brain. It has something to do when it fucks with the human brain. And overall, manipulating time just doesn't seem like that makes a lot of sense when it comes to Code Geass. I mean, there's mechs and, Geass powers, which is technically not a lot of logic, but it still makes sense with the, its universe, its verse it's in. And time stop ability doesn't really make that much sense, so since these other Geass powers we've already seen so far have been something to do with the mind, I'm just willing to bet that this Geass actually just paralyzes the human body, and it, stops all functions for a couple seconds, or it stops your nervous system, one or the other, because that's what that looked like to me. It really did. And so I wonder how Lelouch can counteract this. Maybe he sends electrical charge or something, and maybe, he can, kind of guard against that. But that's what I'm thinking Rolo does. I highly doubt it's actually stopping time, but it's still fucking OP no matter what. Like, it seems like he can spam it. It seems like he can spam that ability, because the actual girl that shot Ogi in the last season, I forget her name. I keep forgetting her name. The silver-haired girl. Pretty much, she seems like she's already seen this ability quite a few times already, so clearly Rolo has used this ability a lot in front of her, so he doesn't really have a limit to how many times he can use it on someone. So we have to wonder, what's his limit? What's the weakness? All the Geass powers we have seen thus far have some form of weakness. They do. And besides the Emperor, because, the Emperor, he can remove people's memories, but I'm willing to bet he has some form of weakness too. So, yeah, I have a lot of questions around that. Now, Rolo's character overall, he's I don't know how to take him. In some parts of this episode, it seems like he actually does care for Lelouch. It actually does seem like he cares for Lelouch, and that pendant that technically Lelouch gave him, he also cares for that. And so, I'm wondering, is Rolo eventually going to join Lelouch's side, or is he going to be like Suzaku and become his enemy? Because I'm still trying to get a grasp of that, because it doesn't seem like Rolo's completely on Britannia's side. We still don't know his backstory, his angle. We don't understand 100% the angle of Rolo. We don't. But we could definitely tell that there's something going on here with his past or whatever, and he definitely has a strong attachment to Lelouch. So, Shirley gets an episode. This episode focuses on Shirley for majority of half the episode. And I want to be honest with all of you, I am not a big fan of Shirley. I mean, I liked her overall role in the first season. She was cool and all, but she doesn't really have any importance. Let's really be honest here. The only importance she served was character development for Lelouch in the first season, and after that, she just got pushed to the side, really. She did, around episode 13 of the first season, and she really hasn't been useful at all. So, her coming in this episode, it was just once again her being like character development Lelouch, pretty much, trying to interact with her, and she's getting these romance-type feelings towards Lelouch. It seems like she's starting to grow romance towards him, even though technically she already forgot a lot of stuff about him, but she did read that letter, so that's actually something I gotta wonder real quick. We do know that the Emperor, he messed with everybody's memories. We know for a fact he did. So I'm wondering, did the Emperor remove those memories that Shirley had about Lelouch being Zero? I wonder, because Shirley wouldn't have told the Emperor about that. I highly doubt he would have told, the Emperor that. So I'm wondering right now, does Shirley still know? Now, Nina is nowhere to be found in the school. She's no longer attending the school, as it seems, and that brings up a lot of questions. I'm going to assume that she is with Lloyd. That's who I'm going to assume that Nina is currently with, and once again, poor table. God, that poor table is probably getting used a lot since, Euphanator died. Anyways, moving on to the actual other topics of this episode. The episode is a very good episode. It is a really engaging episode. It's pretty badass, and it sets up for what we should expect. I'm just trying to figure out what direction the series is going to take right now, because you have it to where Rolo at the end of this episode is pointing a gun to Lelouch, and I highly doubt Lelouch is going to die. Like, I highly doubt that. I fucking highly doubt he is going to die to Rolo and all that, because that would be some bullshit. It would. Because, anyways, he's the main character. There's no way. We got an entirety of a season 2. There's like 20-something episodes, so no. So, I'm just wondering, how is Lelouch going to get the fuck out of Rolo putting a gun to the back of his head, and this dude can actually stop time or freeze their body or whatever. So we have to see where that goes. Episode, animation quality for the most part looked very good as always when it comes to standard Code Geass, and for its age, there was slight few derps in the background, but it wasn't too bad. It was nothing too bad. Looking at the age of the series, it's not that bad. It really isn't. I mean, the episode's quality was a lot better than some series even I've seen from this season. So, yeah, animation's fun. Music, I'm loving the new soundtrack. Loving that new soundtrack of Code Geass Season 2. I haven't really commented much on the new soundtrack. I've been only talking about the old soundtrack because they've been kind of replaying those old songs. But I have to say, I'm loving the new soundtrack. It doesn't seem like it's changed much. Like, it just feels like it has that same Code Geass vibe. So I'm glad the music hasn't really changed its overall presence and atmosphere. Episode overall, great. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below, and I might get up another Code Geass review night, depending on all of you Chibits. If you all really, 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 really want this, if this video has 200 likes before 12 o'clock tonight, I will get the next review up tonight. I promise you that. So, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.